A polyglot community characterized by an assortment of faiths, cultures and languages, Thohoyandou has one of the largest Indian populations in Limpopo. Living within the dominant Vhavenda-speaking people, the two communities are defined by their differences but united in their similarities. The formation of civic organizations such as Venda Muslims Youth Community was necessary in stiffening the bond between Indian and Vhavenda people. But with challenges such as crime and the lack of services in Thohoyandou, it was also an essential weapon to fight a common foe.
Myself, I was born here, brought up here. It's been 28 years now so far. So knowing the different cultures and the rituals, ethnicity, learning with the different cultures and stuff like that in our town. So, South Africa is a rainbow nation, like it was coined by Nelson Mandela and also the Archbishop Desmond Tutu himself.
Over the last few years, kidnapping of members of Indian community for ransom spiked in Thohoyandou. The scourge sparked fears as merciless gangs targeted business people who have invested immensely in this town. This demanded a great concerted effort and a well-fortified fight-back strategy by both Vhavenda and Indian communities to curb the crime.
We did try and, in the past, where we tried to bring up structures of getting together, united, and try to help the community out. It depends now whether it's crime related or whether helping the poor, charity wise, whatever. So far so good. With the Venda Muslim Youth Community, we have tried to tackle a lot of challenges, and which we've succeeded in. Like now, if you remember, previously we had these kidnappings, the crimes and whatnot. So now that also has been taken care of.
It's when we realized that there's a lot of kidnappings around the town, more especially Thohoyandou, where we have seen a number of kidnappings happening, and we realized that we cannot let it go. It's better for us as the organization to sit down with the Indian community, try and find a means to fight this scourge of kidnappings, because it affects us directly and indirectly, because these people, they've invested a lot in Thohoyandou, and more especially it is us as the black community who are benefiting from them.
People of Indian descent are largely shopkeepers, while some Vhavenda people depend on small-scale farming to make ends meet. The two communities usually patronize each other's markets to contain the cash liquidity within themselves.
There are people that are coming from far, as far as Njerere, Messina. They sell their herbs that are only bought and only used by Indians. So that's why I'm saying the market, they are contributing a lot in the market, because our mothers that are not working, that are surviving from selling those tomatoes, those cabbages and some herbs, they depend, those women, they depend on them, because they come to Thohoyandou every Wednesday. As I'm talking, they are packaging their stuff, their gingers, garlics, parsley, all those herbs that the Indians use.
For these young people, the invincible bond between the Indian and Vhavenda communities is accentuated by learning each other's languages.
I am an art teacher at Purupero School, where I'm the only Indian that is actually teaching in that school. So living amongst them, you get to learn the language, which is also very nice, because Vhavenda is also one of the very humble languages that we find in South Africa. And I, for one, also like to speak the language, because I also teach in that language. And living amongst Vendas, it's very, how can I put it, educational towards us.
We went to schools with Vendas. We done home language Venda at school. We've learned the culture and the food stuff that they eat, But what I can say, my experience with the Vendas and the citizen of Venda has been a really good advantage, because I have grown up with friends. I've had many friends that are Vendas. They teach me their language. I teach them, my language.
South Africa is celebrating the 30 years of concept Rainbow Nation, as coined by the late theologian and human rights activist Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. Vhavenda, SABC News, Thohoyandou.